The Yangtze is by far the biggest river in Asia. According to scientific records, its depths conceal hundreds of aquatic species, including some seriously large fish. So why, in a lifetime of monster hunting, have I never been?
More recent reports from China paint a really grim picture of the river. Dead fish, industrial pollution, all the needs and demands of millions of people. Even its unique freshwater dolphin has been allowed to vanish. But are things really that bad and that hopeless?
Getting the kind of access I want from the Chinese authorities is proving tricky, but I'm determined to see for myself exactly what's going on. I'm starting at the mouth of the river, in what was once a tiny fishing village. Today, Shanghai is one of the world's largest cities and the glittering icon of China's economic success.
I'm having a slight communications problem. He turned to me and it sounded like he was saying go away or something, I don't know. Just eating this makes me think of all human existence. It's all about food, isn't it? It's all about food and it's about water. And you think of the Yangtze, historically, those two things in abundance. But when you concentrate so many people, how do things not collapse? How is it that one river can support that vast number of people? The sheer numbers are just mind-boggling. I believe it's something like 1 in 20 of humanity are in the catchment of the Yangtze.
For millennia, most of China's protein has come from fish. But I wonder how many are actually coming out of the Yangtze today. With Tian, a translator, at my side, I'm heading to one of Shanghai's wholesale fish markets. Although it's well past midnight, deliveries are still pouring in. Instead of the usual stalls, though, there are trucks offloading industrial quantities of live fish.
Lovely fish, actually, really nice. These are grass carp.
Although carp are not eaten in the US, they're a huge part of the Chinese diet. Different carp species have always been the main catch from the Yangtze. But I've noticed something about these fish that seems too good to be true.
They're really nice condition, these fish. Hardly any tears in the fins, the scales are all perfect. What's immediately obvious about all these fish is no way have these come out of the wild. I'm assuming these have been farmed. The fact that they're in trucks, I'm assuming they've been trucked in from some distance. Do you know, can you ask them how far away these have come from?
老板，这个鱼是从哪边运过来的呀？
The seller confirms that the fish are farmed and says they're brought in from 200 miles away. Given the huge demand, I'm not surprised to find farmed fish. But is anything here actually coming out of the Yangtze?
Is this man here a buyer? Is he washer Jeremy? And Ninjing Shenma?
您姓什么？
我姓方，方向的方，东方的方。
Most buyers are in the restaurant trade, but it soon emerges that Mr. Fang is here for a different and rather surprising reason.
我们是来救他命的，就是他要人家要买去，我们不救他的。
He is coming here to save the fish.
Yes.
Without saving the fish, those fish will be becoming the food.
Yes.
But with him to be here, he's the saver for the fish.
I can understand that, but what is your motivation? Is this an environmental point of view, or what exactly?
他就说，那像您把这个鱼买了，然后去放掉好。
Mr. Feng says that if I want to understand, I should come and find him in the morning on the banks of the river. The next day, I learned that Mr. Feng has purchased an entire truckload of carp, and for reasons that aren't yet clear, he intends to set them free.
Fish are being offloaded from the trucks down into the crates, and then the people pick those up, and then off they go to the river.
It's all a bit confusing. I'm feeling like a fish out of water myself.
People always say to me, when you catch fish, you throw them back, don't you? I go, no, I don't throw them back. I put them back very gently. I try and hold them in the water. These ones are sort of getting dropped from a fairly substantial height. Why are you putting the fish in the river today?
您好，您过来今天过来放生，有没有什么特别的原因或者是理由啊？
相信佛教呀，就是来佛放生。听老法师说，放生就是放自己的命，发慈悲心，一个终身平等嘛。我们
Buddhists believe that freeing captive animals brings you merit or good karma.
This is very nice to see, but I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this for a little while. I'm not sure what kind of future these fish face here. They just keep coming, sheer numbers of fish going back. I've released quite a lot of fish in my life, but I've never seen this number of live fish go into the water.
Today, they're liberating more than 16,000 fish. Street value around $20,000.
Freedom awaits. Off you go.
It's time to get out of Shanghai. The fastest way of traveling in China is by bullet train. 200 miles inland, I'm curious to know if the mighty Yangtze has any wild fish left. I'd never heard of Wuhu before I came here, but it's bigger than Chicago. Down on the waterfront, some fishermen are using a very basic method. The line is simply tied to the rod tip. There's no reel. Without a translator, I do my best to find out what's biting. These tiny sharp bellies are actually fully grown.
Big river, but small fish. Yeah, well,
这个全筋也不得活了，
up to you.
哎，都不得活了，
Yeah.
全筋不得活，钓上来就不得活了。
Oh, right. There we go. Quite a lot of work to get those. It's quite a good catch in terms of numbers, but what does that tell me about the river here? Lots of fishing pressure. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, right, okay. Ah, yeah. Oh, look at this, I've got two at once. Well, actually a very significant day today for me. I can now say that I've caught a fish out of the Yangtze, as long as nobody asks how big it was. There's a very serious question emerging, and that is, well, this is one of the biggest rivers on Earth, but why are people reduced to catching fish just a few inches long? I'm going to sneak this one back. I'm not going to show him. Thank you.
The Yangtze here is around a mile wide. To see what's living in the deeper water, I need someone with a boat. A few miles out of town, I find a small community of commercial fishermen.
What we got here is like it's a floating village, but you wouldn't know it was here. It's hidden from the river. You could drive past on a boat. You wouldn't see any of this.
The fishermen here on the Yangtze live with their families on their boats for most of the year.
早上好，我可以上来吗？
可以，
OK，谢谢。 So is fishing a good job? Is that a good life or not so good?
可是这里做惯了的工作，他反正必须要做。可是叫我们不识字，可是必须要打鱼。
So how is the fishing right now? How is that?
现在条件好了，现在条件我们就现在国家是禁渔。
That was something about this. So it's banned.
我们就捕1个月，1个月捕。
The fishermen tell me that to protect fish numbers, commercial fishing is banned for 4 months of the year.
Is the ban helping the fishing in the rest of the year?
后来觉得这个禁渔是以后我们打的这个鱼的这个收入产量确实是好，几年下来这个产量确实是好。
I'm surprised and encouraged to hear that they appreciate the need for regulation. But I have to keep in mind that what they say could be influenced by the presence of our camera. I stop asking questions and manage to talk my way into joining them on a fishing trip. Once their 400-foot drift net is out, it's a case of waiting patiently and letting the river do its work.
Oh, we've got a stick. Okay, lots of sticks. Plastic bag. It's a bit of a workout, this. Good for your arms, not quite so good for your back. We haven't got it all in yet, but I'm thinking this is pretty slim pickings, considering. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Yeah, finished? Just one. 大家什么？
回鱼。
回鱼。
哎，对。
We've had 400 feet of net sweeping the bottom of the river for nearly an hour, and this is what we get. Are you quite pleased with this, or are you quite disappointed?
可以，很满意。
That's good. This is good for 1 hour. For 1
很满
hour.
意，这个鱼要卖到100多块钱1斤。
Wild catfish, such as this one, are prized over farmed fish. They're said to have a better flavor.
Something like $60 for that fish, which is, I was quite surprised. That's a pretty high price, but I think that just reflects the rarity value of them here. He says he's satisfied with that.
To me, the 4-month fishing ban appears to be having little effect. I wonder how many consumers are aware of just how few fish are left in the river. Thanks to fish farms, they're still getting fish on their plates. And if the smaller fish, like carp and catfish, are so thin on the ground, then what hope have I got of seeing this river's predatory giants, the Chinese paddlefish and the Chinese sturgeon? I'm continuing upriver to Wuhan, one of China's fastest growing cities.
When they last counted the number of people here, this was 2 years ago, it was 10.5 million, so that's comfortably surpassing the population of New York City, and it's still growing. You've only got to look to see the cranes, and the skyline is almost growing as I speak.
What effect has this rapid population growth and industrialization had on the health of the Yangtze? I'm here to meet an environmentalist who's dragging the Yangtze's dirty secrets into the open. This is Ma Jun. He's one of China's leading activists, and he's been trying to make China's water cleaner for over 20 years. He tells me that the Yangtze is facing unprecedented challenges.
China is now the workshop of the world, manufacturing not just for our own need, but for the world. And 40% of the total wastewater got dumped into the Yangtze River watershed in China. We're talking about huge volume dumped in our backyard. You know, the pollution problem is getting really, really bad. Ma Jun tells me that to fight back, he's tapping into China's growing obsession
with social media.
This is our app, which is called the Blue Map app. So everyone can take a picture, and our user can upload directly into the platform. And this is the very first time for this to happen in China.
To summarize, really, it's very much about information. It's getting that information out there and people acting on that information and no longer having the excuse of not having any information.
Yeah. What makes Ma Zhen's app so powerful is that from the images he receives, he's able to follow the trail all the way back to the factory that's causing the pollution. But here's where it really gets clever, because he doesn't just tackle the polluters directly. He finds out who the international companies are who are buying goods from these factories and makes them aware of what's happening.
It ended up to be some of the world's most prominent smartphone manufacturer, smartphone brands. And among them, Apple decided to take a very drastic action requiring that factory to either solve their problem or lose their business.
So this is really starting to work.
Last year alone, these companies have motivated more than 800 suppliers to solve their violation problem.
Pollution can contaminate a brand, can't it? And as soon as there is a whiff of something bad, that doesn't play well for the brand.
Yeah.
So
By harnessing social media and shining a spotlight on big global brands, Ma Zhen is slowly turning the tide on polluting factories. But as I continue upriver, I can see that it's not just overfishing and factories that are the problem.
I don't think I've ever seen this amount of shipping on a river, certainly this far up a river. I've been to the Amazon lots of times. There are big boats go a long way up the Amazon, but in nothing like these numbers, nothing like it.
When I look more closely, I see that one cargo seems to dominate. I need to get on board one of these massive barges and find out where all this sand is coming from.
We'll see if I can get it on board here. Can't see anybody so far.
I just hope they don't mind me arriving unannounced.
Hello, hello, 你好. 团长 在哪? In here? Is that it? Is that him asleep there? Can I come in? Yeah. How much have you got? 多少是吧？
这个有4600吨，这个船。
这个从哪来？
它是洞庭湖的。
From Dongting.
是洞庭湖前面的。
洞庭湖。
Fed directly by the Yangtze, Dongting is China's second largest lake. And its sand is in big demand from the construction industry. All those bridges and skyscrapers in China's expanding cities require concrete. And concrete is made from sand. The problem is, Dongting is also home to an extraordinarily rare aquatic mammal, the world's only freshwater porpoise. Dongting Lake, now murky with stirred-up sand, has become a battleground between progress and nature.
This is the town of Yueyang. This is right on the banks of Dongting Lake. I'm on my way to meet this guy called He Daming, and he is this sort of self-styled, self-proclaimed protector of the finless porpoises.
He Daming used to be a successful fisherman before his life was changed by a chance encounter.
那时候是2003年，2003年的6月份，我发现了一堆尖头沫子 它的下面有一个大江豚，大江豚在顶着这个小江豚，江豚是靠会呼吸的嘛，妈妈顶出水面它就会憋死。
Do you think the mother realized that you were trying to help?
我在那时候那一刻我就感受到了，这就是一种母爱，还没真正觉悟是吧？我就感觉它们这个动物啊有情感，是吧？我值得我们保护。
Mr. Hay was able to save that baby, and along with others, he continues to save porpoises today. We set out to find the species known as the finless porpoise. A huge dredger with its attendant barges looms above us. For any porpoises below the surface, these man-made monsters are a big problem. As well as generating a lot of noise, they also turn the water brown and murky, making it hard for the porpoises to hunt their prey.
Mr. Hay remembers when this water used to be clear. Just look at it now. This is the result of all this digging activity. That's all sand off the bottom of the lake. And when you look at the skyline of all these cities, starting with Shanghai, all that concrete has got to come from somewhere. And it's coming from the lake bed. People have got to have houses.
For the past 10 years, Mr. Hay and his friends have lobbied the government to scale back the dredging. And their efforts have led to a significant reduction in the number of dredges, from more than 100 to just 8. I'm hoping we can find one of the few pods of freshwater porpoises left on the Yangtze.
Yes. Yeah, that was one. That was a splash. I think he's actually almost corralling them. He's almost trying to keep them in this space here. Yeah, oh, here we go. Yes, here we go. One here. And no, I think there might be two. There's two. This is the only porpoise found in fresh water anywhere in the world, so this is an incredibly rare sighting.
It's astonishing that this animal, unique to the Yangtze, is only here because of single-minded citizens like He Daming. Mr. Hay tells me that after they successfully reduced the number of sand dredgers, he's seen many more baby porpoises.
What's interesting is we're now at a point where the porpoises seem to be holding their own, so there seems to be a coexistence between the porpoises and these huge lake monsters.
Thanks to the efforts of Mr. Hay and others, the finless porpoise now has a future. But what about the Yangtze's other rare beasts? Do they also have a lifeline?
As I travel, I just can't help but wonder what it must be like for all the non-human life below the surface, particularly the Chinese sturgeon and the Chinese paddlefish.
These two giant predators have patrolled the Yangtze for tens of millions of years, all the way from the river's mouth to their spawning grounds in the mountainous upper reaches. But today, the numbers of both these migratory giants are critically low. And in the case of the bizarre Chinese paddlefish, it may already be extinct. Scientists have blamed the disappearance of the paddlefish on many things, including overfishing and pollution. But more than anything, perhaps, their fate is being sealed by huge construction projects like this. It's the largest concrete structure on Earth, better known as the Three Gorges Dam. Construction began in 1994, and it took 17 years to complete. Access is tightly controlled by the Chinese government. Very few people are allowed on the top, but I've obtained permission to meet with one of the dam's engineers.
Oh, that's a long way down.
The dam stands 600 feet high and used around 950 million cubic feet of concrete. The still water reservoir above the dam extends for over 400 miles. One reason it was built was to stop devastating floods, but its main purpose is to generate power.
I can feel it feels like the dam is moving. Is that?
It's normal.
It's normal, and it is moving. It's not just my imagination.
Yes. So it's the power of the water.
So that is the power of the water going through. Well, all of these pipes here.
Yes.
The huge turbines produce the equivalent energy of 18 nuclear power stations. Although the dam spans the river, the engineers made sure that boats like this cruise ship would still be able to continue their journeys upstream. Like everything else here, the mechanism that allows this is on a monumental scale.
So this is not a lock. This is an elevator. This boat just drove in here. The wall went up, enclosing a volume of water, and this is being taken right to the top of the dam, where it will continue its journey. Amazing. Just the sheer weight of boat and water, and what human ingenuity can achieve.
I wonder, though, what effect this huge dam is having on the river's two biggest fish, which for millions of years migrated to the upper Yangtze to lay their eggs.
All the benefits of the dam. We have the power generation,
Yes.
the control of flooding.
Yes.
But one disadvantage is for the fish. We can't see them, but they are in the river. I'm thinking that the Chinese sturgeon and the paddlefish, the baishun, they can't pass. Are there any plans for any mechanism for the fish, the yu, to go from here to there and from there to here, or not at the moment?
At present, it not have the way just for the fish.
Despite a multi-billion-dollar budget, it seems no one considered the fish.
The construction of this dam, in effect, cut the Yangtze River in two. The lower river from here down to the sea, and then the upper river on the other side. And if you're a fish, that is a dead end. And if you're a migratory fish and your spawning ground is the other side of this, it's actually a dead end for your species too.
The first year that the Three Gorges Dam began operating was also the last year that anyone saw a Chinese paddlefish. The question is, does this legendary beast exist anywhere?
The person I've come to see has the dubious distinction of being the last person to see a Chinese paddlefish alive.
15 years ago, Professor Kiwei Wei received news that a fisherman had accidentally caught a huge paddlefish. Rushing to the scene, he did his best to revive the exhausted giant before tagging it and then releasing it back into the Yangtze. But to the professor's dismay, contact was lost, and the fish was never seen again. Not far from the dam, at a government fish research center, Professor Wei takes me to a very plain-looking building.
Where do we go in? Up here?
Where he reveals something extraordinary.
This is really strange.
Don't forget this guy. Not a model. This is a real fish.
This very rare 13-foot specimen died over 40 years ago. It takes a leap of imagination to bring it back to life.
In life, the color is totally different. These notes, they're just like glass. You can see inside.
Oh, so it's semi-transparent?
Yeah. So beautiful. It is treasure. Treasure.
You believe there are still some in the river somewhere?
I hope. Fully hope. Hope. Yeah.
Professor Wei seems haunted by a fish he last saw alive over 15 years ago. It must hurt him that the techniques used to preserve this one have completely destroyed its DNA. Because without this genetic blueprint, even the most futuristic science won't bring it back.
This is a predator. You found fish inside the stomach?
Yeah. Big fish, not small fish, big fish. Predator.
We may have lost the Chinese paddlefish, but for the other prehistoric giant in this room, there is still hope. Chinese sturgeon can grow to a length of 16 feet and bulk up to half a ton.
Oh! This one looks about 10 feet long.
At the research center, Professor Wei tells me they've managed to breed millions of young hatchlings, and they currently hold around 50 mature adults.
They need a crane and a sling to get it out of the water. This is just checking the health of the animal. You've got a very large animal here. So we've got a hose irrigating it all the time, keeping well-oxygenated water flowing over the gills. And now ultrasound. So this is the body cavity. This is a bit like a NASCAR pit stop.
In the river, the sturgeon's migration route is currently blocked.
It's about 7 or 8 foot around. Very solid animal.
But in case this problem is ever solved, then captive-bred fish like these could be crucial for re-establishing the species in the wild.
I've got 158 kilos, taking away the weight of the sling. Just under 300 pounds, that fish. And off it goes. It seems like a very big challenge. Do you feel optimistic? Do you feel there is a possibility of these re-establishing?
We need time. The population should recover to the historical level. Maybe next 30 years. If the fish population is healthy, then the river and the environment is healthy. This is very important.
I'm struck by Professor Wei's emphasis on a healthy environment, but so far I've not seen much evidence of this. The scale of human exploitation on this river is like nothing I've ever seen. And as I continue my journey, it becomes clear that the Three Gorges Dam is not a one-off.
Moving upriver from the Three Gorges Dam, the reservoir, the still water, backs up right to the city of Chongqing. However, upstream from there, it's not really a natural river. There's more dams. One here, another one here, another one here, another one here, a cluster of them here. There's so many, I don't have space for all these markers.
Today, much of the Yangtze River no longer flows. It's a series of long, deep reservoirs. But it could have been even worse.
I've arranged to meet somebody who is part of a group that a few years ago did something that's almost unheard of in modern China. They took on a force almost as irresistible as the Yangtze itself.
A giant energy corporation, backed by politicians, was poised to build another dam across the river, this time at a place called Tiger Leaping Gorge. Around 100,000 people stood to lose their homes. But the developers hadn't reckoned on the fiercely held convictions of a small band of villagers. Determined to stop the dam, Mr. Yao and his neighbors kidnapped 5 of the corporation's engineers. In response, the army mounted a siege.
How many days were you keeping the engineers?
3 天.
3 days? Weren't you afraid that this was going to end very badly for you?
但是事情到了那个份上，没有退的余地了。真理在老百姓的手里，他们那边完全是无理的。保护自然，保护这个家园，保护这个大自然，保护环境，这是天经地义的事。你破坏环境，那你就是错的。
During the night, government agents freed the kidnapped engineers. What the authorities announced the following morning, however, was unprecedented.
就解决问题了，就是说，这个把老百姓大多数不同意，我们就不建了，这样发了一个通告，然后呢就平息了。那个时候要是不抗争的话，现在我们可能就是移民啊，难民了。
The victory achieved by these villagers continues to inspire others, not just in China, but across the world.
这个江河，这个大海，这个天，不是哪一个人的私有财产。空气、天、江河、大海是全世界的，整个地球的所有人，我们都应该保护它。
It's hard to imagine all this beauty disappearing under hundreds of feet of water, or the bravery required to stand up to $1 billion construction. But there are reports filtering through of a far greater threat to the Yangtze than even dam construction. The Yangtze rises on the high plateau of Tibet, some 15,000 feet above sea level. Here, the river starts life as thousands of small tributaries. But if the reports are true, the springs that feed the Yangtze are starting to dry up. Buddhism suffuses this land. Its symbols are everywhere, and its rituals are still dutifully observed. Buddhists believe that the river is sacred, along with all animals that live in it. Not 1, but 3 major rivers rise in this region of Tibet. The Yangtze and the Mekong flowing south, and the Yellow River to the northeast. I'm on my way to meet Tashi Dorji, a Buddhist and renowned environmentalist. 10 years ago, he started to notice that something might be wrong with the sources of these rivers. He has since galvanized the support of a small army of nomadic volunteers to help him monitor the thousands of streams that feed these great rivers. He wants to tell the world what's happening. What do you do exactly with the rivers? So I understand. So these people, they are nomadic people. So they move during the year, and what they follow the water, and so in recent years, their annual movement has been changing, and so some places that used to have
water nearby are now no good you can't live there because the water is too far away. So if these streams are drying up now, are people worried that that process will continue and things will get worse? This region is like a tap, and what's happening, what you're telling me, is that this tap is slowly being turned off, and that doesn't just affect you. You have not just the Yangtze, but other great rivers originate here. There are huge numbers of people living along those rivers, and if you add all those people up in China, in India, in Bangladesh, in Cambodia, it's about half the population of the world. And so you have your group of people here. These people are providing early warning for half of the world. Is that that's what's happening?
What Tashi Dorji is shouting from the roof of the world is vitally important to billions of people, but getting his message heard is no easy task. Tashi is eager to introduce me to one of his nomad guardians, who he says will take me to a very special place. As we climb higher into the thin air, following a clear mountain stream, I can't help but think about the journey this water is going to make, all the way down through multiple dams to the megacity of Shanghai. Right now, I couldn't feel further from that place.
Hello.
Ontsera is taking me to a place that few people have ever seen. One of the sacred sources of the Yangtze.
This water, beautifully clear, and when you see it bubbling over rocks like this, you imagine that it's going to be really highly oxygenated, but here that is not the case. This is low oxygen water. The reason being this air is really thin. There's very little oxygen in the air. Even walking up this slight gradient, my legs are cramping and I'm getting out of breath. We're almost at 15,000 feet, and actually, normally I'd be looking for fish. I'm sort of looking for fish, but the Tibetans, they don't fish. Partly it's their religion. It's partly because practically nothing survives in this water. I believe there's 2 small species, and that's it. So this is not really fishing water. This spring is up here at last. The name of this place, of this spring, in the Tibetan language is Pende Gonchuk, which means something like blessings to everybody. If you think about it, this water here is going to make a journey of about 3,500 miles all the way to Shanghai. And on the way, I mean, the significance of this water and the water from all these springs, the lives of so many people that it affects. The prosperity of China. A well-chosen name, I'd say.
I give my own blessing to the spring.
Is this the source of the Yangtze? It's one of thousands of sources saying there is one source sort of doesn't really make sense. There's many, many sources. But it is still hugely significant, as you can see.
It's springs like this that Ontsera and other Tibetan nomads have witnessed drying up. It's happening all over this region and could be an early warning for a much greater catastrophe to come. I'm ending my first visit to China with a profound sense of surprise. Surprise at how rapidly the Yangtze has lost its wildlife.
Big river, small fish.
And at how little is left.
Just one. Just one.
But surprised too at the way people are prepared to stand up for wild animals.
You believe there are still some in the river somewhere?
I hope.
For clean water.
We have to take action now.
And for a free-flowing river. China can indeed seem monolithic. But I've found that it has many faces. And that things aren't always as simple as they look.
Some very confused fish here.
It would be very easy to pronounce this river dead. And maybe just as easy to be wrong.